I'm a day trader with 2.2 million in funded capital right now, and I'm going to share with you my journey and how I accumulated so much in capital, all my learnings and mistakes through that journey, and my system that allowed me to have multiply six-figure over the last couple of months. Let's go, friends. So friends, I know 2.2 million sounds crazy. It sounds like a lot. Also me, when I haven't had that capital, I always believed one day I'm going to have 2 million or 3 million, or at the beginning it was only 1 million in capital, so I can call myself a 7-figure day trader. But let's be honest, it's just a demo, okay? So we're just trying to use a system with a system, right? So we're trying to implement our system in that system so we can take advantage from it and make some money. So at the end, it's not really in the markets. We are using real market data for it, but it's still something differently compared to a normal trading account. So if you have right now those 7 figures on your own trading account, that is something differently. Still, I think Propfirms is a very huge important thing to use as a trader. It really boosted my overall career to make finally big money in this industry, to have 6-figure in payouts on a monthly basis, which wouldn't really be possible from my point of view back then with a simple 1,000 trading accounts. Simply because of the lack of experience to know how to trade such an account and to flip it to the upside, but as well as it's going to not really teach you the right risk and money management from my point of view. And that will lead very often to a gambling behavior. So friends, I have noted here a few things which I want to add on this YouTube video. I'm going to start with the most important thing, which will even qualify you to even understand how to get those funded capital. Because also me, at that time when I started and I was looking to finally get funded and to make money in this industry, and I started with the personal capital, and then I realized that there is that one opportunity for Propfirms. I've been just blowing challenges after challenges trying to get to that 1 million in funded capital. And I realized that this way is a different one, because it seems like you gotta go with a very strict risk management. Otherwise, it's not possible to get for such crazy gains on a consistent basis. And yes, it is definitely true. You gotta have a very good system. And this brings us to the first point, which is you gotta have a well back-tested and proven trading strategy. Without this thing, guys, it's not going to work. And I'm going to tell you another secret to it as well. That won't work in your first month. That will probably not work in your first year. There are only a few people who can even be profitable in Forex trading in general. And then you think that you can come into this industry, and after you buy your first trading course, you're gonna make money. And if you lose that money, you can go and cry like a baby and blame the markets for not being profitable and for losing that money that you've been hardly working for. Well, then you're in the wrong industry here, because this thing just takes a lot of time. Like for me, I've been blowing so many challenges before I achieved this level of having right now 2.2 million. And even those 2.2 million, maybe the next day I'm going to be at 1 million only, because I will be super emotional, will make a lot of mistakes, I will not follow everything strictly, and so fast you can lose everything. Because I've been through this kind of thing already a few times. I can remember myself when I was the first time at 800K in funded capital. And I was so happy, and I had finally my biggest withdrawals that I've had. So I've been withdrawing there from one prop from around 20-30K in just 1-2 months, then the next prop from, and so on. And then instantly I've been in a very bad period, and my emotions they took over me, and I've lost the entire 800K in funding. But the good about this whole thing is if you can lose something fast, you can also get it very fast back. That's exactly what happened. Afterwards, I came over 1 million in funded capital in just around 1 or 2 months. Because if you have the skill set, even though if your emotions are not ready yet, if you cannot manage these things, you will be still able to come back to it. You will be still able to make a few profit payouts and get the money and actually get the reward for the whole hard work that you put in. But the thing is, it just takes time. So back to the point. That's why I'm saying you need to have a proven strategy. You gotta master the skill set as a trader. You need to have a good strategy. You gotta learn it. You gotta put in the work. And that may take years. Like for me, that definitely did take a long time to finally understand how to manage that one. But there are traders where, yeah, it takes simply longer than, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years, and they're still not profitable. So don't compare yourself to the other ones. That is super important. You should not always look for, okay, that one guy is making so much money, the other one makes so much money, and I'm still not making any, because you don't know what kind of things that one guy went through. If he can make that much money, maybe he's been working a little bit harder than you did, but you just can't accept that. So make sure to understand this kind of thing, because that was one of my biggest problems that I had also in the past, because I always believed, hey, why not me? Why am I still not profitable? Why am I still not making money? Why have I lost again the funded accounts? And so on. And this is just part of the process. Someone wanna teach you something if you're losing that, so you're still not ready yet. So that brings us to the second point, emotional control and psychological resilience, because that's a skill set which is hard. It's like going to the gym, right? Many people always think like this. They are doing one thing once and then they have it for their entire life, which is not true. It's like I go to the gym, I go for 1 week, or let's make a better example. I go 1 year to the gym. So I'm starting looking good, gaining some muscle and so on. But then I will not go to the gym anymore. How can I expect progress if I don't go to the gym anymore? That is the thing. You have something remains, okay? It's like the shape is not going to be in one of few weeks terrible. It might be if you completely stop and you're doing the exact opposite of what you have to do, but the foundation is there. And trading with emotions is kind of the same. If you've blown a few accounts, you kind of have one foundation to understand how to control emotions. If you have surpassed that level already, like if you've been funded, if you withdraw some money and so on, like when you came to that stage. But coming to that stage is like what I mentioned in the first point. You gotta have a good strategy, you gotta backtest, you gotta put the work into it, and that might already take a few years. But then you come to the stage of controlling your emotions, and at that stage is a stage where many people don't really understand how to overcome that. That is a phase where everyone is just going crazy, because it's like, I understand the strategy, I understand everything, but I still don't make money. And that phase is something which I went through a few times, and I always had to believe in myself and say, okay, this time is going to work out. And it's like, it's going to work for you as long as you're focused, right? Because it's like with the gym. The moment when you're stopping to work on it, it's going exactly in the opposite direction. By default, it's going to go against you, right? Your body won't get better, but by default, you're going to lose muscle. It's like with trading the same. The moment when you're not focused anymore and you're controlling your emotions, you're not following the trading plan strictly and so on, by default, you're going to make probably failures which will lead to losses. Doesn't need to happen immediately, but that's exactly why we have sometimes those good phases and then those bad phases in trading, right? Because it's something which we can explain. It's normal. It's like every human makes failure. It's impossible for you to stay the whole year consistent, like every day you're making profit. Because if that would be the case, then I would just make on 10 trades full margin and I would be billionaire, right? It's not possible. So you gotta use this as your advantage, that you know, okay, you're not capable to be every single time consistent. It's like with the gym. You're not going to go to the gym every single day. There will be a phase, like, of course there are people who are crazy, but there will be a phase where you're not going to be that consistent, right? There will be a week where you say, oh, okay, this week I go only 2 times to the gym, right? So that is happening with your emotions as well, but you just don't realize it sometimes. It is going to happen naturally. So I think this is one of the biggest things that I can share with you, because I haven't really seen someone talking about that. And when I see that nobody talks about that, then I kind of cannot trust that person so much, because it's like, it's a liar, because he he should go through this phase. He should know this phase as a trader, and you gotta overcome that. And you can only overcome that with your mindset, from my point of view, because you gotta believe in yourself and push through those bad times and know that after bad times, good times will happen, but only if you put in the work, right? Because if you're in a bad time and then you're just watching Netflix and you just don't give a shit about what's going on, then of course you can't get right now 2 million in funded. So super important thing here about emotions, which you gotta follow, friends. The next thing which I'm gonna mention is actually the importance of risk and money management, because that one is kind of linked to everything, right? So in general, in trading, all these concepts are kind of linked. Like also my trading strategy, every concept I have is so linked to everything else. It's like crazy to speak about that and trying to make it separately from the other one, because everything just goes hand in hand. If you don't have a trading plan which works, then automatically your emotional control will not be that good, and automatically your risk management won't be consistent as well, because the emotions that you have will impact your risk management. So this is why it's important, and you know that those things are linked, and you just gotta work and improve one of it step by step and then move on to the next one. And that's why I think that the most important thing is to focus really on the trading strategy, because we always hear that emotions are 90% and so on, but to be honest, they will make 90% out of this whole thing, but only if you also manage to understand how your strategy works. You gotta have a trading edge first. This is like the secret to everything. You gotta have that one trading strategy which works. Then automatically, while you're gaining experience, you're going to improve your emotional control. When you're going to increase that, your risk management will be also on point. So it's going to come automatically in a very natural way. But people just can't see that, because if nobody's telling them this kind of thing, that this is how it works, and I think there are only a few people who understand this thing, then it's for you almost impossible to really succeed here, because it's got kind of like you're planting a seed, right? And you always gotta put water on it and just give it the time until finally you will have a flower there. And many people, they don't see that something grows out of the earth, so they just go away, right? They just skip, they give up on it. But that's how it works. And until that one flower will really come out, that might take, as I mentioned already here, a few years. So don't compare yourself at the end to social media, my friends. You gotta go your own way. And also, very important, make sure that the first thing that you're doing is to find a good mentor, find a good strategy, and stick to it the whole time until it works. This is the most important thing. I've been always that one guy who was jumping from strategy to strategy to strategy, searching for the holy grail, which simply does not exist. Of course, there are strategies which are powerful. If I look at my own strategy, I'm super happy and I feel blessed that I finally have so magical rules from my point of view. But the other one will look after my strategy, will say, bro, that is not good, that doesn't work for me, which is fine, it's okay, it doesn't need to work for everyone. But that is something which you gotta find, a strategy which fits your personality, which you like to stick to it. And at the beginning, it's normal that you're jumping from strategy to strategy, but this is exactly the thing which will prevent you from succeeding. You gotta stick to one, and you gotta find one which also, is fitting you. And take your time in order to figure that out. But once you got it, then please don't give up on the strategy, because with time, it's gonna make you very, very, very successful. So friends, see you then in the next video.